Bison, or Dictator, is a tricky mid-range and offensive character with unorthodox but really strong movement and great damage and super fun shenanigans. So let's talk about that movement. His walk speed, terrible, as you can see. Super slow. Jump, you know, it's high. It's not as floaty as it sometimes is in some games, but definitely high. Where he really shines, though, is the forward dash. Look at that. It's very fast. He's actually invincible while he's made of that purple stuff. Not immediately, but he does gain invincibility about midway through. On top of that, moving with scissors. Very important. Moving with Devil's Reverse. Also super important. It's very mobile in this game. As for his ground options, roundhouse is really important. It's 9 frames, reasonably quick for a button like that, and you know, great in frame traps and pretty good hitbox on it as well. Medium kick, pretty far, pretty fast. Fierce is super far and cancelable, and considering those options, 11 frames is pretty good startup. Down toward Fierce, a little slower, but actually plus on block, and very important for, you know, finding frame traps and links. Scissors, always important. Roundhouse version is -2 on block, which is good. EX is even safer. Short is actually unsafe in this game, so make sure that you know, aren't just throwing it out there. The ball, great for spacing himself, good to end combos with. EX version goes basically the screen length. It doesn't go the full stage, but about the screen, and you can see that it explodes afterward, which is really nice. It allows for a lot of interesting setups for himself too. And then, you know, those are both back to forward charges. Flames is not, which means that you can sort of dash around with it in a little bit of a different way. I really like that move for him. When it comes to anti-air, stand roundhouse again shines. It crush counters again, so you can get juggles like into EX scissors and stuff. Crouching HP is really good. Crouching Fierce is really strong in this game. And stand jab, also really good. As far as specials goes, EX Flame is fast, and it's not invincible, but it does control both sides really well. In the air, Bison has some good options too when it comes to normals. You know, look at Fierce. Fierce is really nice, comes out very fast. Jump roundhouse, goes pretty far. Cross up his jump medium kick, it can be pretty tricky. You know, there's some ranges where it's really like when you press medium kick as to whether it crosses up or not. If you press it early, it won't, and if you press it later, it will. So that's really good for him. And when it comes to airs, jump medium punch can juggle, and that's always really good. When it comes to specials, Devils is super important. Now, it's not something you do in the air, but as far as moving around in the air goes, Devil's Reverse, really solid. Let's talk about his V-skill. So V-skill absorbs attacks. Thusly, if you hold it down, it will actually reflect. Now, a lot of people just think that this is for projectiles, but it's not. It's for anything that hits mid. So if Chun-Li presses Fierce on you, you can absorb it. Maybe not super useful in that way, but for example, if Nash does the moonsault and he comes at you, there's a range where you can actually V-skill it on reaction. Or if Mika comes at you with her charged roundhouse, you can actually do this on reaction. So it is pretty useful. The V reversal for Bison has this sort of field all the way around him, and it actually does hit, you know, above him, behind him. It sort of hits where it graphically looks like it does, but it's not quite as good range as you might think. So it is a really important escape option for him, but you got to make sure that you're in range for it. So V-trigger for Bison, I think, is one of the best in the game. It does all sorts of things for him. So you can use it to cancel out of anything. Specials, yes. You know, normals, yes. All sorts of stuff, and that means that you can really set up a lot of things. Once you're in there, a lot of stuff changes. So his dash gets even better. It can cross up, which it can't do normally. It's invincible for more period of time. Very fast. Scissors are a little bit different. You notice he actually disappears during the start. They're a little bit different frame data on them too. A little bit safer, a little bit slower on startup though. Stomp, if the opponent is blocking, is also really strong. He just lands right there and he's advantaged. Devil's Reverse actually disappears before it comes out on the other side. It makes for a lot of really good tricks. You know, these are a little bit different. They're all of the strengths are the same version except for EX. And the other great thing for him is that he can cancel. Oh, wrong one. that he can actually cancel special moves into EX special moves. And that means that you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. You know, you don't need charge if you're canceling into a new special move. And that really opens up not just damage, but trickiness. So this V-trigger, all sorts of stuff going on in it. I really, really like it. Now, Bison's super is actually pretty useful as well. You see it does this sort of bubble. And again, it does hit everywhere, just like the review reversal. It hits above him, it hits behind him. So it's useful not just in combos, but it's useful for anti-cross-ups if you think somebody is doing a cross-up attack. This is a way to deal with that. If you need sort of a fast, close punish, the best thing is probably short, which you can do into either jab ball for the knockdown, or if you want to stay close, you can do it into light scissors. If you have a little bit more time than that, or you need a little bit more range than that, stand medium punch, crouch medium punch goes into the same sort of stuff. You can do it into, oh, not a combo. Yeah, there you go. You can do it into flames as well. And sort of which one you do, flames, scissors, ball, each one of them have sort of different options. And that has to be something that you kind of play by ear, which I think is really interesting. When it comes to confirms, stand strong, crouching strong, stand roundhouse, crouching strong, short. You know, you do have these different options. And again, you can go into one of those different special moves. And again, it really just depends whether you want the knockdown or whether you want the opponent standing, whether you want to end up close. All sorts of different things going on there. Counter hits are a really big deal for Bison because roundhouse is just so good. So if this does come up, you know, you can do something really easy, just like the Fierce. But again, though, with Fierce, you know, you have the you have the option to do, you know, do you want ball for the knockdown? Again, do you want flames? You know, it really just depends on what you want to follow up with, depending on the situation. Well, let's check out a pretty sweet V-trigger combo too. Not that this is basic, but it's just too sick to pass up. Look at that damage. So what's your general game plan as Bison? Well, you know, there are different ideas about this. I feel like this character is open-ended enough that there are multiple ways to play him. But for me, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to always be moving. You know, I feel like he has solid enough movement, very interesting enough movement, that he can constantly be doing things, and that really makes him tough to peg down for the opponent. At the same time, you want to make sure that you're moving to solid spots. So when it comes to those right spots, one of the spots I really like is about here. Maybe a little bit closer. Anti-air roundhouse, anti-air fierce, or crouching fierce work really, really well. You're at a range where you can dash up grab really quickly. You're also at a range where you can dash up into roundhouse for the crush counter if you're expecting the opponent to look for a tech. You're at a range where you just walk up a little bit and you have the medium kick. You're at a range where, you know, scissors are great. Again, roundhouse scissors is safe in this game. EX is even better. You know, you're at a range where fierce works. I think all of those things are really, really effective for him. When it comes to defensive options, that's not really what Bison does in this game. It's not like in Street Fighter 4 where he has escapes or where he has a bunch of invincible stuff. He really doesn't. It's just super. It's the only invincible thing he has. So other than that, you really have to make good use of the V reversal. But keep in mind, V-trigger is so good that you really want to sort of meter manage that V-trigger really, really well. And since it's a 3-bar V-trigger, he does have more V reversals available to him. But that also means that it might take longer to build out the V-trigger in the first place. So that's something that you have to think about. The offense is really where Bison shines in this game. Frame traps are great for him. You know, roundhouse, very solid for this. Safe on block, and you know, again, reasonably quickly. Down forward fierce, very important as well. You can see the range on this guy. It is pretty slow to start, but you know, big link on counter hit. You know, you can get a lot of stuff out of this. So that's really something to pay attention to. Dash mix-ups are pretty good too. This stuff can get scouted, but it is, again, going from a fast, invincible option to being right up close, and using this as crush counter if you think that they're going to tech can be really good. And especially once you're in V-trigger, being able to dash around like this really opens up a lot of things for him. In addition to that, this as a way to start a frame trap, pretty good. You do have frame advantage there. You have to watch out for people, you know, dragon punching or whatever it is. But you do have the advantage. Keep in mind also that he does have a target chain, which is stand strong into forward, down forward fierce. It's not a combo, but it is a built-in frame trap. However, watch out because it actually can get punished on block. So what should you avoid if you're playing as Dictator? To me, I think the most important thing to avoid is just being stationary. If you're stationary, then the opponent has a better grasp on what it is that you're looking for. They can get to a range that's a little bit stronger for them, and he just has such good movement that there's really no reason to do that. On top of that, the thing you have to worry about is being impatient when the opponent is up close. As I said, he doesn't really have good defensive options, and that means that you have to play patiently, block. If you do have the blocking down, then the character is super strong. So why should you play Bison? If you like being a jerk.